the gist of the whole point I think we're trying to make is that, if leadership is truly the backbone of organizations, right? It's not enough to just anoint leaders. That's what we're saying here. We can't just get away, and calling out nonsense is basically saying you can't anoint leaders and be done with it. What you got to do is you got to tend to the whole bench. And so it's the vertebrae, right? You can't say, oh,
That's
I'm just going
right.
to pick these three because these three run this body function, so that's all I'm going to care about. That's not how it works. You got to
Mhm.
tend to the whole bench. And when we tend to the whole bench, it's not just because we intend to. Everybody intends to do it. You have to institutionalize it. You have to
Mhm.
basically create practices and muscle and repetitive behavior so that it is no longer left to anybody's decision or whether they want to do it or not want to do it. It's not something that you have to relearn every day you come into the organization. And it's not an annual episodic thing where you do it only when you're either doling out ratings or you're deciding budgets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole point is that it has to be institutionalized. You can't just anoint leaders and be done with it. You have to tend to the whole bench, and you can't just intend to tend to the whole bench. You actually have to do the work. And so the pulling it all back to the whole, 1776 story, Reg and Rob, you both know, I just love history, political history
Yes.
at that. And it's just immensely amazing to me to always study wherever this has happened all over the world. Whenever power structures have been divided and institutionalized, and you build checks and balances, guess what? You don't have to think about it. The system runs pretty much on its own. Yeah, you have to adjust, you have to course correct. Do you have to get to a better place? Absolutely. But the point is that it's institutionalized. That's the kind of the point here. We need to get to institutionalizing, to tending of the backbone of leadership. And if we don't do it, I think then basically it's nonsense.